place you under oath. If you'll face me and raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury?
I do, Your Honor.
Please have a seat.
Thank you.
If you'd begin by introducing yourself to the jury by stating your name and spelling it for our record, please.
My name is Officer Alejandro Arroyo. First name Alejandro. Last name Arroyo, Arrryo.
Mr. Long.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a police officer for the city of Santa Fe.
How long have you been a police officer with the city of Santa Fe?
Just about 11 years.
Do you have any prior law enforcement experience before that?
I do not.
Were you on duty on October 29th, 2022?
Yes.
And were you called out to 5941 Jaguar Drive?
Yes.
And is that location in the city and county of Santa Fe?
Yes, it is.
State of New Mexico?
Yes, sir.
When you first arrived at that location, were there any other officers present?
I was the first one on scene, I believe.
Okay. And after you arrived, did any other officers arrive pretty quickly after that?
Yes, they did.
Who?
Officer Francisco Alvarado and Officer Manuel Romero.
All right. Now, without saying why you were out there, did you take up a position sort of before you went to the house?
Yes, due to the call information, I withdrew my police department issued handgun and carefully started, in my head trying to come up with a game plan on how to approach the house.
Okay. And when you approached the house, were you approaching the front of the house?
Initially, yes.
Okay. Did you eventually head towards the back of the house?
Yes.
And did you eventually head into the backyard?
Yes.
And once you headed to the backyard, did you actually tell another officer to kick in a door?
No, it was another officer did.
At some point, did you receive information that a possible crime occurred in a garage?
Yes.
Did you see a garage at that location?
Yes, there was a detached garage on the back side of the house.
Okay. And when you say a detached garage, you mean that it wasn't connected to the house?
Correct.
When you first arrived and sort of were trying to get your bearings with the scene and occupants of the house, was there any confusion as to whether you were at the right location?
We were very confused. It seemed like we were at the wrong place initially.
Okay. And then did you eventually confirm the address with the homeowner?
Correct.
And at any point, did you try to get into the garage?
One of the officers did, and then I asked for keys.
Okay. And did you get keys?
I did.
Once you were provided with keys to that garage, what did you do?
Once I got the keys, I opened the door.
All right. And I want you to think back to opening that door and tell the jury what, if anything, you saw at that point.
I immediately saw what I perceived to be a body, a motionless body, dark-skinned female with acrylic nails. I remember one of her knees had a really significant large gash to her knee. The room was cluttered. It was disgusting, I would say. Cat feces, blood everywhere, and a large sword to the right of the entrance of the garage.
Okay. Now, as a police officer, when you enter a scene like that and you see something like that, are you supposed to maybe clear the scene to make sure that, if there's, check to see if there's anyone else in there, check to see, if that person's alive? Or are you supposed to do any of that sort of stuff?
Yes.
Were you able to do that?
No.
Why weren't you able to do that?
Like I said earlier, it was just super cluttered, messy, blood everywhere. I didn't want to really step in that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And were you able, or did you attempt to provide any life-saving measures?
I did not. I think medics rolled up pretty soon after that.
Okay. And did you see whether the medics attempted to provide any life-saving measures?
Yes.
Okay. Now, officer, do you, are you part of any special unit or group of individuals with Santa Fe Police Department?
I'm assigned to the K-9 unit.
Okay, and so do you actually have a canine that is kind of your partner?
Yes.
All right. Do you also typically wear like a body-worn camera?
Yes, I do.
All right, and where does that body-worn camera typically, where do you put that on your uniform?
Usually on my chest area.
Okay. And if you are having interactions with the public, are you supposed to turn that camera on?
Yes.
All right. And on October 29th, 2022, did you have a camera on?
I did.
And do you know if your camera was recording?
It was.
Permission to approach the witness?
Yes.
So, officer, I'm going to hand you what has been marked as State's Exhibit 3. I want you to take a look at that and tell me if you recognize that.
I do.
And is there a signature and date on that?
Yes, it's my signature and today's date.
Okay. And did you put that signature and date on that after you reviewed the contents of that?
Yes.
And are the contents of that recording, of that disc, is that a fair and accurate recording from your body-worn camera on that day?
Yes.
At this point, I would move State's Exhibit 3 into evidence.
Any objection to States 3?
No objections.
States 3 is admitted without objection. Mr. Long?
Permission to publish?
Yes. Is there graphic scenes on this?
No.
Okay, go ahead.
And Judge, I may need some technical assistance briefly, if that's okay.
Come on up.
All right, so
I just kept that there. Drag it across the screen.
there we go. It's easy.
Yes, sir. Whoops. It's gonna be a little laggy on that side.
Thank you, Brian. Now, Officer Arroyo, I would like for you to read for the jury what the numbers up in the right-hand corner are.
22/10/29.
And what does that signify?
The date.
All right, and then the next set of numbers.
13:51:49 seconds.
All right, and what does that signify?
Time.
All right. And is that military time?
Yes.
All right. Now, that officer that's in front of you that looks like is approaching, who is that?
I think it's Officer Alvarado.
At that point, it looks like you were just handed a key. Why is your gun out?
I just don't know what could be behind that door. Gotta be ready.
So, officer, it looks as if you've just slightly entered the garage. Is that about as far as that you could go in?
Yes.
Now, the individuals that we saw arrive that don't have badges and guns, do you know who those individuals were?
Not by name.
Do you know what agency they were with?
The fire department, City of Santa Fe Fire Department.
And I asked you a little bit about, you went, just sort of just inside the doorway of the garage. Why couldn't you walk any further?
I don't know why I didn't go in, honestly. I think I was just grossed out.
Okay.
I don't know.
Do you remember, you said that you saw a body. Do you remember where that body was located?
Right by the door.
Okay. You said that her body was right by the door. Do you remember, was she seated? Was she lying down? Was she on the floor? Was she on a bed?
If I remember correctly, she was kind of like seated on the floor, her knees kind of up. And what really caught my attention is her head was, instead of like just being slouched over, it was like further down to her chest.
Officer, did you eventually conduct a security sweep of the main residence?
Yes.
What is a security sweep?
Just to make sure no one's inside the residence hiding, as we were going to secure the residence for a search warrant.
Okay. Do you remember if anything or anyone else was found inside the residence?
No.
Your Honor, permission to approach the witness?
Yes.
Officer, I'm going to hand you what has been marked as State's Exhibit 4. Do you recognize that?
Yes, I do.
And how do you recognize that?
Has my signature and the date that I wrote on it.
And what is the date?
7/8/26.
And is that a fair and accurate representation of more body-worn camera footage from that day?
Yes.
At this point, I would move State's Exhibit 4 into evidence.
Any objection to 4?
No objection, Your Honor. Permission to publish.
It's admitted without objection.
And I'm
Go
going
ahead, Mr. Long.
to go ahead and collect both of those back. Permission to approach.
Yep. So while he's queuing this up, ladies and gentlemen, when you deliberate, you'll be provided a clean laptop with a disc player if you want to watch any of these videos. Before you start playing that, counsel, pause it.
Sorry.
Counsel, would you approach, please?
Before I get this clip positioned correctly, does your body-worn camera record audio as well?
Yes, it does.
And has that been the one change from today is that the audio is not there?
Correct.
Okay, officer, just very briefly, and we're back at the, with Exhibit 4, we're at 0 seconds, and so the video itself is not playing, but we were able to sort of see, oops, now it is. We were able to see some of the individuals on scene. Can you identify some of those individuals for the jury?
Yes.
So the individual that is on the far right-hand side of that screen, who is that individual?
That's now Lieutenant Roberto Rodriguez.
Okay. And the individual that is sort of in the middle, do you know who that is?
Officer Francisco Alvarado.
Okay, and then the person that is seated on the left-hand side of the screen, do you know who that is?
Lanny McCulley.
All right. And we did see an individual in the prior clip, and that is in State's Exhibit number 3. We saw an individual go away in handcuffs. Do you know who that individual was?
Kiara McCulley.
All right. And at any point during that day, October 29th, 2022, did you have any contact with Isaac Apodaca?
No.
As part of your investigation, did you go in and try to talk to neighbors to see if they had seen or heard anything?
Yes.
Right. And did they provide any useful information to you?
No.
Did you eventually make it back to the Santa Fe Police Department station?
I did.
And when you arrived at the police station, did you escort anyone inside?
I did.
Do you remember who you escorted inside?
I don't remember her name.
Do you remember if she had any relation to this case?
I think she was the mother of the victim.
And a few minutes later, did you come into contact with Isaac Apodaca's mother?
Yes.
And was her name Linda Montoya?
I believe so.
Do you remember where that contact was made?
At the front entrance to the police department.
And what, if anything, did you tell her?
I think I just told them I didn't have any information for them at the time, and to wait in their car until detectives came out and reached out to them.
Okay. Your Honor, may I have a moment?
Yes.
At this point, I pass the witness.
Cross-examination. Yes, sir. We'll finish up with this witness, and then we'll take our lunch break.
All right, officer, so you,
So that's, they're not up, but that's number 3 and that's number 4. Okay, thank you.
Officer Royal, good morning.
Good morning.
You responded to the scene at 5941 Jaguar Drive, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And when you approached, do you approach the residence with other officers?
Yes.
Would that have been Officers Alvarado and Romero?
Yes.
Okay. And Officer Alvarado stated he observed a female walk into the residence from a detached garage. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Officer Alvarado kicked the door open to gain entry?
He began to, yes.
Okay. And there were 2 females at the door when that occurred, correct?
Yes.
And that would have been Lainey McCulley and Kiara McCulley, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And you stated that there was no that Isaac was not there, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And then initially, Lainey McCulley had appeared not to understand, or both Lainey and Kiara McCulley appeared to not understand what was happening?
Yeah.
Okay. And dispatch then confirmed the incident occurred in the garage?
Correct.
Okay. And Lainey stated, well, let me back up. And the garage was locked when you approached it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And again, you had to kick the door open, correct?
Not to the garage.
Okay. But to the house?
To the house initially.
Okay. And when you opened the garage door, you immediately noticed the deceased female?
Correct.
Okay. And you observed a large sword on the dresser or table inside the garage?
Yes.
Okay. And you did not witness the actual incident, correct?
No.
Okay. And you have no personal knowledge of how Grace Jennings had died?
Just what dispatch had told us.
Okay. And you don't know exactly who was present when she had died?
No.
Okay. And you conducted a security sweep of the main residence with Officer Alvarado, correct?
Yes.
So it's safe to say that you did a pretty comprehensive search of that residence.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, all right. And again, you found no one else in that main residence, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So let's be clear. Isaac Apodaca was not present at 5941 Jaguar Drive on that day, correct?
No. No one was there.
Okay. You had so you who escorted Lainey McCulley to the Santa Fe Police Department?
I don't believe I did. No.
Okay.
The victim's mother.
Yeah. Okay, the victim's mother. And the neighbor had stated that she had not seen anything unusual, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And from your understanding or your involvement in this case, Isaac was cooperative, correct?
From my understanding, yeah.
Okay. It was Linda who had called 911?
I don't know who called in.
Okay. And Isaac had waited for police?
I believe he waited down the street, yes.
Okay. And Kiara was not cooperative, correct?
I'm not sure.
Okay. 1 second. Describe how Kiara was looked when you arrived. Let's see.
She and her mom both were, I guess, what appeared shocked that we were there, kicking the door in.
Okay. Kiara was wet, correct?
I don't remember.
You
I
don't
didn't really interact with her.
Okay. Based on your observation, did it look like Kiara had recently showered?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. You observed bloody clothing in the residence?
I didn't, no.
Okay, you didn't. Okay. Did you observe whether she had changed her clothes?
I don't know, no.
Okay. Based on your training experience, do you know whether evidence could have possibly been destroyed?
Objection, foundation.
I can rephrase that.
Sustained.
Do you know of any evidence that was possibly destroyed?
I do not.
Okay. 1 second here. You had interactions with Linda Montoya?
Just briefly at the police department.
Okay. And she was cooperative?
Yeah.
Okay. And no one at the scene that you arrived at had called 911, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So neither Kiara McCulley or Lainey McCulley had called 911.
Correct.
Nothing further.
Redirect.
Officer, just to be clear, did you kick in the door or did another officer kick in the door?
Another officer.
And you stated on cross-examination that both Kiara McCulley and Lanny McCulley looked shocked. Is that correct?
Yes.
And do you remember Lanny McCulley's reaction when she was told that there was a body in the garage?
She was surprised.
Nothing further.
Is this witness released?
The state will reserve him for rebuttal.
Reserve, Judge, thank you.
Okay. So you're being reserved. Don't discuss your testimony with anyone else. Don't seek out any. I'm going to place you under oath. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury?
Yes, Your Honor.
Have a seat. If you would begin by introducing yourself to the jury by stating your name and spelling it for our record, please.
Francisco Alvarado, last name Alvarado.
Ms. Murphy.
Thank you, Judge. Good afternoon, sir.
Good morning. Afternoon, sorry.
What do you do for a living?
I am a detective,
With what agency or department?
Santa Fe Police Department.
How long have you been with SFPD?
September will be 6 years.
Okay. And you said you're a detective?
Correct.
Prior to becoming a detective, what was your rank?
I was a patrol officer.
Okay. And what was your rank and assignment in October of 2022?
I was a patrol officer assigned to day shift.
Patrol officer in which shift?
Day shift.
Day shift. Okay. And what are the hours for day shift?
It's 6 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Great. What is the general scope and duty of a patrol officer?
The usual respond to calls for service, traffic stops, welfare checks. Pretty much anytime someone calls in to dispatch, patrol is the first ones on scene, or proactive patrols such as encounters, again, traffic stops, personal contacts, pretty much being a cop.
Being a cop. All right. On October 29th of 2022, did you respond to 5941 Jaguar Drive?
I did.
And what was the nature of the call for the response?
That initial call was labeled as an ambulance assist.
Okay. And did that information change as you were en route?
I believe not.
Approximately what time did you arrive on scene?
I believe the call was I arrived there about 1:45 p.m.
And when you arrived, were you wearing your body-worn camera?
I was wearing it, but it was not on.
What do you mean it wasn't on?
It was dead.
It was dead.
It was dead, yes.
Okay. Can you explain that to the jury?
It's towards the end of the shift. We had a busy shift. My camera was operating through the whole morning, afternoon. It ran out of battery.
Did you intend for it to run out of battery?
Oh, no.
Okay. Who did you arrive on scene at 5941 Jaguar Drive with?
With K-9 Officer Alejandro Arroyo and now Detective Manuel Romero.
And once you arrived on scene, how did you begin to approach that house?
We met at the front of the house, and then we split up. K-9 Officer Arroyo went to the right of the house. I went towards the left of the house, considered more or less the east side of the house, and I approached towards a wooden gate.
Why were you approaching towards the wooden gate?
To see if I see anything, based on the call for service, if I see anyone screaming, yelling, pretty much cover more area. He takes the right side, I take the left, and we go on from there.
And as you approach that left side of the building, the gate. As you approach that left side of the building and the gate, what, if anything, did you see?
I saw a female coming out of a detached garage from the residence.
Do you recall what the female was wearing?
Black pajama pants with some designs and a black t-shirt.
Okay. From the time, did you see her as she was leaving the garage, halfway to the house, at the house? Where en route was she?
She was en route from the detached garage onto the main residence.
Okay.
Probably, I wouldn't be able to say approximately how many feet, but enough to where I could see her path.
Okay. When you saw her, what did you do?
I yelled contact.
What does that mean to yell contact?
It tells other officers that I came in contact with somebody. So usually they'll bring their attention towards me, or if I yell contact, most people will react contact. They look at you and they'll stop, and then we'll continue announcements from there, like police do not move or stop what you're doing, so on and so on.
Okay. After you yelled contact to your colleagues, what did you do?
Why I yelled contact, and this female she made eye contact with me, but she did not stop. She kept walking into the residence.
Okay. Go ahead.
I hop over the gate.
Once you hopped over the gate into the backyard area, what did you do or what did you see?
I went to the backyard of the residence, went to the back towards the main residence, and I looked at the doorknob, and that's when I observed what appeared to be blood on the doorknob.
Okay. And based on that observation, what did you do?
I kicked the door in.
Why'd you kick the door in?
The call for service, the female just ignoring me, going to the house, blood on the doorknob. I have exigent circumstances to attempt to make entry into the residence.
Okay. Were you concerned about anyone's safety?
Yes.
After you kicked the door in, or as you were kicking the door in, I guess I should say, what happened?
A female came out yelling at me.
Okay. And can you describe whether this was an older or a younger female?
Older.
Okay. Did you eventually learn that female's name?
Lonnie.
Lonnie. And as you were kicking the door in and she began to yell at you, do you recall what she said just in the moment that you're kicking in the door and she yelled?
She pretty much asked, what was I doing?
Okay. And after did you fully kick in the door? Did they open the door? What happened next?
No, so it's a door with the glass frame, like a middle frame, so I was able to kick in the window frame, and she opened the actual door.
Okay. After she opened the door, what happened?
She's asking all these questions, and I take a step back. I explained to her the reason why we were there and the reason we were trying to kick the door in, and she was frantic. I mean, rightfully so.
Sure. And was there anyone else nearby, any other civilians nearby?
Yes,
Okay. And where was that civilian?
behind Lonnie,
Okay. And was this a male or a female?
female.
Can you describe that? Was that the same person that had exited the garage that you saw en route to the house when you arrived?
Yes, it was.
Right. And did you learn that person's name?
Yes,
What was that person's name?
Kiara.
What, if any, action did you take with regard to Lonnie after she'd stepped out and Kiara after the door had been opened?
I'm sorry, say that again?
What, if any, action did you take once Lanny McCulley had stepped out of the house?
We pull him out of the house. At this point, communication with the call taker, the caller, I'm sorry, was no longer with dispatch. So we were kind of on a confused state of like, hey, this is over here, but we don't know exactly right now what's going on. It wasn't until the caller or someone called back into dispatch and advised us to check the garage.
And did you personally check that garage initially?
Initially, no.
Who did that initially?
K-9 Officer Arroyo and Detective Minor Romero.
At any point, did you look in that garage?
I did.
What did you observe?
A lifeless African-American female. As soon as you step into the garage door, she appeared to be sitting down with her head tilted down. And then I could see some lacerations to her. And then as I made a look to the right, I observed a sword on a dresser covered to what appeared to be blood.
Do you remember the location of any of the lacerations on the female's body that you observed?
From what I observed, they were on her arms, her knees. I didn't fully get into it. Like,
Did you just kind of peek in?
I peeked in and kind of, the scene was a little intense, so I picked right back. I got out right away.
When you, going back out and talking about the two civilians that were on scene, Lanny and Kiara, did you interact with did you interact with Kiara at all?
I placed her in handcuffs. Once the body was discovered, I automatically placed her in handcuffs.
Why?
I saw her come out of that detached garage, and there was no one else in the garage, or as far as we know, in the house. So my senses was placed in handcuffs and went from there.
As you were handcuffing her or interacting with her, did you notice anything on her body?
Yes.
What did you observe?
I saw her hands covered in Band-Aids.
After she was detained, did you do anything regarding the main house?
Yes.
What'd you do?
Myself and Officer Arroyo conducted what's called a safety sweep of the main residence.
Did you notice anything when you were doing the safety sweep?
That caught my attention, yes.
What caught your attention?
The washing machine was running.
The washing machine.
Yes.
Do you remember how much time was left on that cycle?
I believe it was 15 minutes.
Thank you. After doing the safety sweep with Officer Arroyo, what did you do next?
We exited the residence, and at this point, we started arranging transport for Lonnie and Kiara back to the station, and then obviously calls were made to investigations and pretty much preserve the scene at this time.
Okay. Did you personally transport anyone?
Yes,
Who did you transport?
Lonnie.
Did you interview her during that transport?
No,
After the transport to the Santa Fe Police Department main station, did you make contact with any other individuals related to this case?
yes.
What was the familial role of the person you made contact with?
Say it again.
Who did you make contact with?
The victim's mother.
Did you provide any sort of notification to the victim's mother?
I did.
What was the nature of the notification?
I advised that her daughter was deceased.
A moment, Your Honor. Ask the witness, Judge.
Cross-examination, counsel?
Thank you. Good afternoon, Detective.
Good afternoon.
Congratulations on your promotion. How long have you been a detective now?
Going on 4 years.
4 years?
It's been a while.
Also, let's see. So you were a patrolman in 2022.
Correct.
Okay. And so how long were you a patrol officer?
For about 3 years.
3 years. Do they call it Field Services Bureau here in Santa Fe?
I don't believe so.
Okay. That's what we call it down in Albuquerque. So they just call it patrol here?
Patrol, yes.
Okay. When you initially got this call, is it called a dispatch? Do you get a dispatch through the computer? Did they contact you over the radio? How did they contact you?
It goes through dispatch, and then dispatch will dispatch officers available or to the scene.
Okay. And so how did you know who the caller was if you knew?
I didn't.
You didn't know who the caller was. Okay. And when you got there, you initially approached the residence. It sounds like you said from the left side.
Yes, more or less the right term, probably the east side of the residence.
It would be the east side. And that's where the gate was located?
Yes.
And as you approached the gate, is that when you initially saw the female on the other side of the gate?
Yes.
Okay. But the gate was still between you and her?
Yes.
And it was a wooden gate?
It was a wooden gate about maybe a little over my waist.
Okay, so
It was a short gate.
you got a pretty good view of her?
Correct.
And about how far away from the detached garage was she when you saw her?
I'm sorry, say that again?
About how far away from okay, let me just go step by step. You also saw a detached garage, correct?
Correct.
And she was somewhere in between that garage and you.
Correct.
About how far away from the garage was she?
She was closer to the detached garage than to the actual residence. I wouldn't
Okay.
be able to tell you feet or distance from there.
Did you see her carrying anything in her hands?
Not that I could recall.
Okay. But hands, you pay attention to hands, right?
Correct.
As a police officer?
Yes.
Okay, why is that?
Hands kill.
Okay. And, but you don't recall seeing keys in her hands?
I don't.
All right. And I just want to talk about that lock real quick. The way the garage door locks on the outside, can you lock it without a key, or do you have to have a key?
We had to use a key to get in.
Okay.
So I believe yes.
Okay. So yes, you would have to lock it from the outside with a key.
Correct.
Okay. And so you see her heading towards the house, but I'm guessing you don't see her go in the house at this point?
No, once I jumped the gate and approached the back of the house, there was no one in the yard, so she was right inside the house.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to slowly take you there. So you see her heading to the house. You lose sight of her. Is that when you jump the gate?
Approximately, yes.
Okay. And the nature of the calls would cause you to jump the gate, right?
Correct.
All right. And so you get around the corner, you don't see her. And when I say get around the corner, you get around the side of the house to
Correct.
the backyard.
Yes.
Right. And then you have a full view of the whole yard.
Yes.
So the garage is to your left and the house is to your right.
Yes. So
if this is east, then that would be south and north.
Yes.
Okay. And what do you see? You see blood on the door?
So I approached the back door, and there was what appeared to be smeared dry blood on the doorknob.
Okay. And at this time, you had about 3 years of experience?
More or less, yes.
Okay. And so what did your head tell you at that point?
Call for service, call that someone had been killed at the location. I see someone that looks at me, and obviously I'm in a full marked uniform, walks away from me, goes into the house without any remarks of police being present. I see blood at the doorknob. My thought is someone dead inside or someone needing attention, medical attention inside. So my brain said, we have to get in there.
Okay. And that's why you kicked the door?
Correct.
All right. And with regard to what she was wearing at the time you saw her coming from the garage, was it different from what you saw when she came out of the house later?
No.
So it was the same clothing?
Correct.
Once you started kicking the door, you had testified that another woman came to the door. Had you ever met her before or seen her before?
No.
And you had stated that she seemed really surprised at that point in time?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And do you recall what she said?
Not verbatim, but pretty much on the basis of like, what are you doing? I mean, we are kicking their back door in, so I'm sure no one likes to have their back door kicked in.
Right. I can imagine. So we saw a video earlier this morning of an officer that was actually kicking the door, and I'm guessing that was you.
A few pounds ago, yes.
A few pounds ago, okay. And so there was two officers standing to your right, so they would have been east of you
Yes.
while you were kicking the door.
Yes.
All right. And you don't recall exactly what okay, you identified this woman later, and her name was Lonnie,
Lonnie, correct.
and you don't recall what she told you?
She was yelling at me, and it's a high stress scene, so to recall verbatim, especially my camera being dead, it's kind of hard to go back to the actual, it's been, 4 years?
Okay.
So it's kind of hard to recall verbatim what she said to me.
Okay. And when you say your camera's dead, you're talking about the body cam?
Correct.
It just ran out of batteries, or
Yeah, it was on the whole day, so it just ran out of batteries.
did you borrow somebody else's later on? Or?
No, I believe once I realized the significance of the investigation, I actually at some point asked Detective Romero to stay by me.
Oh,
So at least I had some kind of recording device.
okay. All right. So let's get back to the door. It looked like, so Lonnie then comes out at that point,
Yes.
but it looked like the glass was already kind of in at that point.
Yeah, my foot got into the glass, yes.
And once she comes out, what was her demeanor like?
She was surprised. She was, like I said, she was frantic. I mean, you have cops behind you kicking your door in, so she had no idea what was going on.
And had you guys lost contact with 911 at this point in time?
At this point, I believe, yes, we tried to re-engage with dispatch and see if there's further information, and I believe that's just the information that we had.
And this Lonnie was not carrying a phone, right?
Oh, no.
Okay. And then you said another person came out behind her. That was Kiara?
Correct.
And what was Kiara's demeanor like?
Unfazed, like nothing had happened, very calm, cool, collected.
Okay, and let's go back to when you saw her walking away from the garage. What was her demeanor like there?
Unfazed.
Did you order her to stop?
I don't recall. I yelled at her after I said contact. I can't recall exactly what I said.
So when you said contact, you were advising the other officers that you're making contact with someone?
Yes, and I yelled it. I mean, and she looked at me, and she ignored me and walked away from me.
Okay, so she made eye contact with you and then kept moving.
Yes.
All right. So she comes out, she's kind of calm, you said, and who then tried to open the garage door?
So at that point, we lost communication with dispatch. We were kind of like, well, figuring out what's going on. Dispatch advised they had someone on the line to set and advise us to check the detached garage. At that time, Lonnie was very helpful, and she gave us the keys to that detached garage. I got those keys, and I handed them over to Officer Arroyo.
Okay. Do you recall where she got the keys?
I believe inside the residence.
So she went back in?
I believe so.
And is that based on reviewing your police reports? Is that just pure memory right at this point?
It's, let's say I have my camera, so it's pure memory, and then what's on my report.
Okay. So she went back in, then came back with the key, and Arroyo is the one who opened it?
I gave the keys to Arroyo, and I stayed with Lonnie and Kiara, and Officer Arroyo and Manuel Romero are the ones that made entry into that detached garage.
Okay. Now, while you were standing there with Kiara McCulley, Miss McCulley, what was her demeanor like then?
With Kiara, or
Kiara,
she was unfazed, she was calm.
she was still calm.
Yes.
Had you cuffed her at that point?
No.
So I'm guessing you cuffed her as soon as they came out and told you what they found inside, meaning the other officers.
Yes.
And while you were cuffing her, is that when you noticed the Band-Aids?
Correct.
And how many did you notice, if you recall?
More than one for sure, but I don't recall the number.
And in your training as a detective now, have you had to investigate cases that involved stabbings?
Yes.
Is it common for the perpetrator to stab themselves by accident or cut themselves?
Objection, Your Honor. Foundation, 702.
Go back to lay a foundation for the
Okay.
question.
What kind of training have you had with regard to investigating sharp object crimes?
I was a violent crimes detective for over 2.5 years. I've investigated stabbings, shootings, homicides, all within either sharp objects, gunshots, so on and so on.
And even in when you're training at the academy in and of itself, they teach you how important it is to know and be aware of knives, right?
Yes.
In fact, I think I don't know if they still do this, but they used to instructors would walk around and run up on you with a knife to make sure you're paying attention, right? Do they still do that?
Not exactly, but they do some kind of knife drills and then some close distance stuff, or how fast you can close distance, how dangerous knives could be, as any other weapon.
Okay. And is there any specific type of training that you take with regard to investigating sharp object crimes?
I have not.
How about when you're doing the general homicide training, does it include knives and guns?
Yes.
Okay. So how many hours do you think you've experienced either investigating or training with knives?
Probably hour-wise, I don't know, but some hours, yes.
Okay. And so based on all that training experience, is it your opinion that people do cut themselves by accident when they're engaging in criminal conduct that involves a knife?
Yes.
And do you think that might have happened here?
Objection, Your Honor.
I'll withdraw, Your Honor.
Objection sustained.
Thank you, Your Honor. Okay, so you saw a couple of Band-Aids on her, and then after the other two officers, that was Arroyo and Romero, they came out. Did you stay with Ms. McCulley that entire time?
No, I switched places. I can recall it was with Romero or Arroyo, and it was a very horrific scene. So it was a little. I switched with one of them to see what they meant, because all I heard one of them say, "Hey, there's a body inside." So to me, I just wanted to know what they meant by a body, because I even asked him on cameras, like, "What do you mean by a body?" Once I went inside and confirmed what they meant, that's when I came out and placed Kiara in handcuffs.
Okay, were you the primary officer on this?
From the patrol side, yes.
Yes, okay. So when you're the primary, you have to make decisions like that. When somebody says there's a body, then you got to figure out what's going on?
Yes.
Okay, and that's why you put her in cuffs,
Yes.
because you have a possible homicide or whatever?
I have a dead body, yes.
Okay, and did you put Lonnie in cuffs as well, or just Kiara?
At that time, I didn't place Lonnie in handcuffs.
Okay, and tell us why you placed Kiara in handcuffs.
She's the female I saw coming out of the detached garage where a lifeless body was found.
Okay.
So to me, it gives me the belief that she came out of that garage and she has some involvement.
Okay, thank you. And so then you go back into the garage to check it out yourself,
Yes.
right? And you had stated you saw Ms. Jennings lying on the ground, well, sitting up on the ground, right?
She was sitting in a very tight space, yes.
Okay. And I don't want you to go through those details, the gruesomeness of it. I don't think it's necessary at this point. But you did see a sword.
I did see a sword.
And can you describe that sword for the jury?
I'm not a sword guy, but it's pretty much like what you see in like medieval movies, like, I don't know, like Lord of the Rings types things. Like, it's a large sword with the handle and like the little wings and covering what appeared to be blood. So it was, it's an actual sword.
Okay. And was the blade pointing towards you, like towards the door, or was the blade pointing away from the door?
Well, I can't recall.
And how long do you think it was?
I'm sorry, what?
How long do you think it was?
3-4 feet. It was, from what it looked to me, it was a sword. It was a large sword.
Okay. I'm not a sword guy either. That's why
I mean,
pestering you.
Ask me about a gun, I'll tell you.
Okay. Well, we don't have any gun questions. Okay, with regard to that evidence, so you see the sword, right? But you don't touch it, right?
No,
Okay, and there's a reason for that.
of course.
And that reason is because you don't want to mess with evidence.
Absolutely, yes.
And you know, as a patrol officer at that time, there could be fingerprints on it,
Yes,
and there could be DNA evidence on it, right?
yes.
So you never touch it,
Never touch it.
and you don't let anybody else touch it.
No.
So wherever, and then somebody comes and collects that evidence at a later time.
Yes.
And who would that be?
Our crime scene technicians.
And they're trained to pick that stuff up properly, right?
That's their job, yes.
Okay. And when I say properly, they try not to contaminate it when they pick it up.
The way they do their training, they do their investigation a certain way, and then I don't know exactly what steps they take, but I'm pretty sure it's pretty clean.
Okay. But your job there is to make sure that that weapon is not touched and not messed with so that it can be picked up in the shape it was found in
Correct.
and not tampered with.
Correct.
Okay. And you had stated that there was something about a washer? You saw a washer running?
At the main house.
Oh, that was at the main house?
Correct.
And you observed that after the three of you went in to clear it?
Yes.
And where was it in the main house, if you recall?
So I just walk in, you have a main area, the living room, clutter, and then there's, I believe, a kind of like an open hallway to the left, and you look per left, and then you have your washer and dryer.
And you looked inside of it?
No, I didn't open it was a clear,
Oh,
like a clear window.
gotcha.
I couldn't tell what was inside, just there was items inside the washer.
And was there any stuff laying around the washer?
Not that I could recall.
Did you see any blood in that area?
No.
Okay, let's go back to Kiara for just a minute. Did it appear as if she had taken a shower? Was she wet?
Yeah, to me, it looked like she had just showered. Or,
Okay.
or within the time frame.
Can you explain to the jury what you mean by that?
Yes. We all know what it looks like when you just come out of the shower and you're clean. Like you just feel like she showered. To me, it appeared that she had just felt like she showered. I'm not going to say her hair was wet or like she was dripping. It's just she was very clean. And even when I cuffed her hands were soft, like she has just, showered and taken care of herself and all those things.
Okay, thank you. And just to be clear, no other additional bodies were located on the residence?
No.
Okay. Did you guys secure the scene with evidence tape? Your team?
I did not. I don't know who did that.
And do you recall how much time was left on the washing machine?
About 15 minutes.
I may ask you just a few random questions here, and then I'll wrap it up, okay? Oh, you transported Lonnie McCulley over to the police station?
I did.
And did she talk to you about anything?
I believe the only thing
Objection, Your Honor, hearsay.
It's just a question. I'm not going to ask him what she said.
You can answer the question. If she did, don't repeat anything she might have said.
yes.
Was she still mad at you?
She was calmer.
She was calmer?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, and with regard to Mr. Apodaca, you know that he was taken into custody at a later time, right?
Yes.
To your knowledge, did you have any keys to that garage on him?
Objection, Your Honor, outside the scope.
Establish a basis of knowledge if she does know. Objections overruled.
So during the course of this call that you went on to, did you discover any other names like Isaac Apodaca as a possible suspect in this incident?
Yes.
How did you find that out?
Speaking with detectives and other officers on scene.
Okay, so other officers were doing investigations and they shared information with you?
On the scene, yes. I was aware we split up and there was another male involved and later identified as Isaac Apodaca.
Okay, and did you find out anything else about Isaac Apodaca?
No.
Do you know who transported him?
No.
Did you go to the police station?
Yes.
Did you see him there?
I don't recall I did.
Did you ever see any keys on him?
If I didn't see him, I didn't see any keys.
Okay, that's fair. Give me just 1 second. Okay, just wanted to clear up a couple things with you, Detective. With regard to The blood, I'm not sure if we got this out clearly. There was blood on the main door to the house, right?
Appeared to be blood on the doorknob of the back door of the house,
The back door of the house?
Yes.
On the doorknob?
on the doorknob.
And what about the garage?
I didn't see any blood on the garage, like from the door, no.
Okay. And when did you notice that your camera wasn't working?
Once I got on scene,
So how'd you figure that out? You pressed it and it didn't turn on?
exactly.
Okay, so you weren't aware of that until you got there.
Yes.
So with some of the counties, as the officers are approaching the calls, the cameras automatically turn on. Do you use Axon or do you use a different kind?
It's Axon, yes.
So you have to physically touch it yourself?
Correct.
Okay, does it warn you when it says it's running out of juice?
I have it on stealth mode, so it doesn't make any noise or any sort of notifications, so no.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Redirect.
No, Your Honor. We'll reserve this witness, though, out of an abundance of caution.
You may step down. Don't discuss your testimony with anyone. The attorneys will stay in touch with you and let you know if you need to come back.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Additional testimony or evidence on behalf of the state?
The state calls Manuel Romero. Bless you.
I'm going to place you under oath. Sir, do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in the penalty of perjury?
Yes, Your Honor.
Have a seat. If you'd begin by introducing yourself to our jury by stating your name and spelling your name for our record, please.
Detective Manuel Romero with the Santa Fe Police Department. First name Manuel, last name Romero.
Mr. Long.
Thank you, Your Honor. What do you do for a living?
I work with the Santa Fe Police Department.
And do you have a rank?
Yes, I'm currently a detective.
All right. How long have you been with the Santa Fe Police Department?
Just over 8 years.
Any prior law enforcement experience before that?
No.
Were you on duty on October 29th, 2022?
Yes.
And were you a detective on that date?
I was not. I was assigned to the day shift patrol.
And were you called out to 5941 Jaguar Drive?
I was.
When you first arrived at that location, were there other officers present?
Yes. When I first arrived at that location, I believe I was the third officer on scene.
Okay. Without saying anything that you heard from the other officers, where were you positioned with the other officers?
So I initially parked almost directly in front of the residence off of Jaguar Drive.
Okay. And were there other people around? Was there a crowd gathered, anything like that?
I don't remember seeing a crowd. I do remember seeing the other two officers that were there initially with me, Officer Alvarado and Officer Arroyo.
Okay. And as part of your job as a police officer, were you attempting to figure out what was going on?
Yes.
What were your actions to try to figure out what was going on?
Initially, try to figure out where the crime scene was the primary function that we were trying to figure out.
Okay. And did you confirm the address on the house?
Yes. So the three of us eventually made it to the back of the residence. There was some initial confusion. I contacted dispatch and requested that they clarify if we were at the correct residence.
Okay. And at some point, did you open up or did someone else open up the garage?
Yes.
What, if anything, did you see inside the garage?
So when the garage was opened, I saw the deceased Grace just in front of that door. So for clarification, the house and the garage, it's a detached garage. So when we got that door initially opened, I seen the deceased. At some point in time, I pushed a little bit further into the garage. It looked like it had been converted into like a makeshift bedroom, so it's very difficult to navigate trying to get all the way into the garage. But I did observe, so it had been to the right of the door. It was, I guess, a table or a dresser of some sort. I don't exactly recall, but there was a sword on that item.
Okay. Now, Detective, you said that you pushed into the garage. What do you mean by that?
Like I tried to get further into the garage.
Okay. Was there anything stopping you?
Yes, like I said, it was converted. It appeared to be converted into like a makeshift bedroom, but there was trash, there was clothing, there was all sorts of items.
Okay. And so were those items preventing you from opening up that door all the way?
I don't recall if we could open the door all the way or not. To my recollection, the door was opened pretty wide.
Okay, then were those items preventing you from walking all the way into the garage?
Yes, and also there was the deceased that was almost directly right there by the door as well.
Okay, great. When, as a police officer, do you typically wear a body-worn camera?
I do.
Okay. You don't have one on today, though, do you?
I do not.
Okay. But as a patrol officer, you typically do have a body-worn camera, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And on October 29th, 2022, did you have your camera on?
Yes,
And do you know if your camera was recording?
it was.
Your Honor, permission to approach the witness?
May.
So, Detective, I'm going to hand you what has been marked as State's Exhibit 5. Would you please take a look at this?
Yes, sir.
And you recognize that?
Yes.
How do you recognize it?
I reviewed this.
Okay.
CD.
And when you reviewed it, after you reviewed it, did you do anything to the
Yes.
What did you do?
I initialed and dated the CD.
Okay. And other than audio being removed, is it a fair and accurate representation of some of your body-worn camera footage from that day in question?
Yes, it is.
At this point, I would move State's Exhibit 5 into evidence.
Any objection to 5?
No objection, Your Honor.
Without objection, 5 is admitted. Mr. Long?
Permission to approach and publish?
Yes.
Indicate, would you have to press a button? What do you have to do?
There's a couple ways that our body cameras will initiate. One of them is by us actually tapping the button. The other is with our lights. I'm not positive how this body camera was activated that day.
Okay. But it's actually going to record you actually driving to the scene.
Yes.
Now, noticed that your gun is drawn. Why is your gun drawn?
Due to the nature of the call.
And where on your body is your camera placed?
Typically about chest level.
Okay. So wherever your chest is pointing, then that is where your camera is pointing. Is that the idea?
Yes.
Okay. Now, without saying anything that anybody is saying, what is happening right now?
So at this point in time, this is part of that clarification process that I testified to, where I was contacting dispatch and ensuring that we were at the correct address.
And did the residents of the house, did they appear surprised to see police?
Yes, the mother was very surprised.
And at this point, what is happening?
The deceased is discovered in there. And then there's some communication. I think I communicate with dispatch a little bit about getting paramedics and informing them of what's going on.
Do other officers arrive on the scene?
Yes, multiple officers.
Now, without saying what anybody is saying, what is happening in this scene?
There is some discussion about how to properly clear the structure.
And when you say how to properly clear, when you say to clear the structure, what do you mean by clear it?
Yes, to get into the structure, ensure that there's nobody else, things like that.
Okay. And at this point, has another agency arrived on the scene?
Yes, those are the paramedics, firefighters with the city.
All right. And do you know if they were able to provide any life-saving measures?
I do not.
So it looks like you've switched your placement to sort of in the doorway of the main house without saying what anyone is saying, what is occurring.
Yes, I'm asking one of the residents to exit the home, and then in a short time, you'll see that she's detained.
Are you able to see what is on that person's shirt?
Some writing. This is my happy place.
Okay. And do you know who that person is?
Yes,
Who is that?
Kiara McCulley.
Okay, and then the other person not with any of the agencies, do you know who that person is?
Yes.
Who is that?
That is Lanny McCulley, the mother of Kiara.
What is happening here?
She's putting on shoes.
And when you say she, who do you mean?
So the mother's going to help Kiara here in a bit put on her shoes.
So based on the circumstances, why is Lanny McCulley having to help Kiara put shoes on?
Based off of the information and the deceased that was just located, all of this coupled together, we had reason to believe that Kiara was involved.
Okay. So were handcuffs placed on her?
Yes.
And until she was someplace secure, were those handcuffs going to come off?
Yes. Once we arrived at the Santa Fe Police Department.
Okay. At this point, are you or anyone else asking any questions of Lanny McCulley or Kiara McCulley?
At this point in time, no. I think the only conversation that I may have had with her would been obtaining her personal information, either here or a little bit later.
And what's happening? What happened right there?
I was directing her outside of the property back to the front where my vehicle was so that I could seat her in there.
So I want to talk a little bit about the procedure that you take before you put someone into your vehicle. Do you pat them down or do you frisk them?
Yes. So I believe there was 2 initial times where I did like a quick pat search of her. I would pull her out of my vehicle at a later point in this video and completely check her person for anything once we're getting ready to get transported.
Okay. And did you find anything on her person?
I don't recall finding anything on her.
If you had found anything on her person, would you have let her keep it or would you have confiscated it?
It depends on what it was. If it was like personal effects, say ID, wallet, typically we'll take possession of it, but then we will book them into the jail with it and they'll get it at a later time.
Okay. And at this point, are you taking down identifying information from Kiara McCulley?
Yes, this is what I had spoken to about gathering her identifying information.
So did you eventually take Kiara McCulley to the police station?
Yes, I transported her myself.
All right. Did you have any contact at all with anyone by the name of Isaac Apodaca that day?
I recall seeing him at the police department. I don't think we had any conversation or anything.
Once you got to the police station with Kiara McCulley, what, if anything, did you do with her?
Yes, we have a holding cell. I placed her in the holding cell, turned on the camera for that holding cell. And then sometime later, when detectives requested to interview her, then I escorted her up to one of our interview rooms.
Okay. Permission to approach the witness?
Yes.
And Detective, I'm going to hand you what has been marked as State's Exhibit number 6. Please take a look at that. Do you recognize that?
Yes,
What is it?
it is another CD that I also reviewed.
Okay, and in your review of it, is that absent the audio, is that a fair and accurate representation of more of your body-worn camera footage from October 29th, 2022?
Yes, it is.
At this point, I would move State's Exhibit number 6 into evidence.
No objection, Your Honor.
6 is admitted without objection. Counsel, if you'd approach before we go on. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a question that probably a number of you have been wondering about, but we got from a juror. The question is, why has the body of the body cam footage been removed? Evidentiary rules. We've heard the statement hearsay. Hearsay is defined as an out-of-court statement that is offered to prove the truth of something, okay? There's a lot of conversation. You can see the conversation going on. Unlike what you can observe directly, those statements coming from the officers are their impressions, their conclusions about things that may or may not even be accurate. And so the language has been removed. You're able to view what the officers were viewing because that is relevant evidence for you to consider. But their statements and other information that they may or may not have. You've heard questions here about what was known at the time the officers arrived. Again, that's just what information they had that they were operating under. Again, it may or may not have been completely accurate. But with respect to the actual video, the audio that's on the video, that is why it has been redacted, as the rules of evidence apply to that evidence as well as everything else that happens in court. Mr. Long, you may continue.
Thank you, Judge. Permission to approach the witness?
You may. And this is 6?
This is 6.
Okay, go ahead.
So where is this occurring right now that we're watching?
This is us arriving at the Santa Fe Police Department.
Okay. And without saying what, if anything, she may have said, what was Miss McCulley's demeanor when you were taking her to the police station?
She seemed relatively calm.
And where is she headed right now?
This is the holding cell at the Santa Fe Police Department.
And what are you doing right here?
This is the camera view from inside the holding cell, so I'm just logging into the system to start the recording.
And is it common practice for you, at least when someone goes into the holding cell, for you to turn on that recorder?
Yes.
And is the holding cell, is that audio and video, or is it just video?
It's both.
All right. I pass the witness.
Cross-examination.
Yes, Your Honor, thank you. Good afternoon, Detective.
Good afternoon, sir.
You, when did you become a detective?
I was promoted approximately 3 years ago. Actually in the role, maybe a year and a half.
Okay. So at the time of this incident, you were a patrol officer?
Yes.
Okay. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Alvarado was promoted as well, right?
Yes.
Was everybody promoted that day?
I think he was promoted sometime before me.
Oh, okay. Well, congratulations on the promotion. I just had a couple quick questions I wanted to clear up. When you, it looks like you were the third person who went through that gate. Am I correct in that, or were you the second?
No, I believe I was the third.
Did you ever lay eyes on Miss McCulley before she went into her house?
I did not.
So the only one who saw her, to your knowledge, would be Alvarado?
I believe so.
Okay. Were you aware at the time that you went through that gate, were you aware that he had seen somebody?
Yes.
How did you become aware of that?
I believe he verbalized it.
And in what way?
I think he just said, hey, somebody went back into the house.
Okay. If you hear something like that and you start going into the backyard at that point, do you expect to see someone there?
Did I expect to see someone
Yes.
there? Based off of his statement, no, he said they had gone back to the house.
Okay. All right. So you were advised at that point that that person had gone back to the house?
Yes.
Okay. Would you consider that fleeing?
Would I consider that fleeing?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a very complex question. Just based off of that alone, maybe not.
Okay. And when you were walking, well, let me ask you, what kind of training do you have with regards to, are you DRE qualified or DUI qualified?
I'm qualified to do DWIs. I am not qualified as a DRE.
Okay. And a DRE is what?
A drug recognition expert. It takes a lot more training.
Okay. Well, when you were walking with Miss McCulley to the police car, did you notice any signs of intoxication?
In terms of alcohol, I did not smell alcohol on her person.
Okay, and you had said that you're not DRE qualified. Is there a time where you understand that you need a DRE expert to help you out with something?
Yeah, absolutely. There's times where they would be relevant.
Okay, so would you have needed a DRE person in this particular instance?
That did not cross my mind. I'm not sure where I would need them.
All right. And I think you had said that you made contact, or at least you saw Isaac Apodaca at the police department, correct?
Yeah, I believe I saw him at some point.
But you never saw him at the scene?
I did not.
Now, with regard to when you entered the scene, Alvarado starts kicking the door. What was the demeanor of the person on the other side of the door?
Shocked.
And when she came out, it's our understanding that she gave you guys the keys to open the garage door. Is that correct?
Yes.
Did you see where she got them?
The keys?
Yes.
I did not see where she grabbed them from.
And was it just one key, or was it on a keychain, or?
That I don't recall.
Okay. And that door, do you know how it unlocks?
I did not unlock that door.
You didn't unlock that door yourself?
I did not.
So it was the guy with it looked like he was wearing a green uniform.
Yes.
He was the one who unlocked it?
Yes.
What was his name?
Alejandro?
Oh, that's
Arroyo?
Arroyo? Okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay, and this is 5941 Jaguar Drive.
Yes.
This was, and it's on October 29th of 2022, right?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know what happened to that key after the garage door was open?
I do not know.
And you had mentioned during your direct testimony that the garage door had been converted into a bedroom. Is that right?
That's what it appeared to be to me.
And so when they convert something into a bedroom, where's the garage door itself? Is it just closed off?
I don't think so. I think the garage door was still on the other side, like the actual, I believe.
The other side of the room from where the entrance was?
Yes, this was just a standard door where I actually made entrance.
Okay. Now, with regard to making that entrance, you had said that it was a little bit difficult to push the door open. Is that correct?
I said when I tried to go in there, there was just a lot of stuff in the room, making it difficult to actually walk into that garage.
Okay, and so when you say walk in, or I'm trying to differentiate between pushing the door open itself, getting it open, or just being able to walk into the garage. Are you saying that it was hard to walk into the garage because of clutter?
Yes, we actually, our intention, or my intention, was to walk into the garage.
And it wasn't the door that blocked you, it was just the clutter?
There was just a lot of stuff.
Okay. But the door opened itself?
Yes, the door was open.
Okay. And was it open wide enough for Ms. McCulley to walk through it?
I believe that even I was able to walk a little bit into the garage, but then, of course, because of all the stuff, it limited my ability to go further in.
Yeah, when you say stuff, you're talking about the stuff on the ground or all the stuff you wear?
No, all the stuff that was in there, their personal effects.
And did you see that sword?
I did.
And can you describe it for the jury?
I don't remember exactly what it looks like. I would estimate that it's probably about 4 feet long with a standard handle.
Okay, and you didn't touch it either, right?
I did not.
And you do that to preserve evidence?
What's that?
You don't touch evidence so that it's preserved properly?
Yes.
And did you, at some point in time, you cleared that house, right?
The main residence?
Yes, sir.
I never went into the main residence, to my recollection. I ended up leaving with Miss McCulley.
Okay, so they made entrance into the main residence after you walked away?
I believe it was after I left.
All right. And after you brought Miss McCulley to the police department, you had stated that you checked her a couple times before you put her in your unit?
I actually checked her prior to transporting her to the police department.
And then after you get her out of your unit, do you then check your unit?
Typically, yes.
Do you recall if you did that in this case?
I don't believe I did.
And what kind of, when Miss, so did you identify the woman who actually gave you guys the keys?
I don't know if she provided her information to myself or another officer.
Do you recall her name?
Yes.
What is it?
Lanny
McCulley? And was she pretty excited? Her demeanor, what was she like?
When we got there and her door was being kicked in, she was, I don't know how to describe, maybe alarmed. She seemed shocked at what was happening.
And did she make any statements to you while she was under those emotions?
She was asking what we were doing and why her door was being kicked in.
And after she came out of the house, was she still alarmed?
Yes, absolutely.
And did she say anything to you at that point in time while she was under the influence of those emotions?
She was asking questions. I remember we had informed her that there was a crime scene. Nobody was to go back into the main residence or the garage. And she had inquired as to why.
Do you remember the words she used?
I don't remember them verbatim, but I did inform her that there was a deceased individual in there, and she seemed surprised by that. And she essentially repeated what I had said, was there's a dead body in there.
And did she tell you anything about somebody's having spent the night before?
That was a conversation that I had observed between her and Kiara.
Okay. So you just overheard that?
Yes, that was a conversation that I overheard between the two.
Okay. And on that video that we were watching, that was your body cam, correct?
Yes.
And it looked like Detective Alvarado was pointing at Miss McCulley's hands. Do you recall that?
Yes.
What was he pointing at, if you know?
She had some bandages on her hands.
Did you see how many bandages she had on her hand?
I don't remember the number. I did remember seeing the bandages on her hands.
But more than one?
Yes, I would say so.
Okay. During any of this time, did Kiara ever tell you that Isaac Apodaca made her kill this young lady?
Hearsay.
Can I rephrase it, Your Honor?
Objection sustained in that form. Go ahead.
During any of the time when, well, I guess, was Kiara ever at a point where she was excited?
I don't know if I would classify her emotions as excited. She's, like I said, she seemed relatively calm.
And that was during the whole time?
Yes.
Okay. And what about Lonnie? Did she make any mention as to who might have done this while she was under the influence of those emotions?
Objection, hearsay.
Sustained.
Was there ever, well, did you ever arrest Lonnie McCulley?
Did I? I never arrested her, no.
Okay, so she was never a suspect?
No, not to my knowledge.
Kiara was the only suspect you had at that time?
Yes.
And later on, Mr. Apodaca became a suspect?
That was due to an investigation that was beyond my scope at the time.
Okay.
Kiara was a suspect at that time based off of what the knowledge I had at that time.
And you didn't see Mr. Apodaca at the scene, right?
I did not.
Okay. May I have just a second, Your Honor? May I have just a second, Your Honor? Thank you. And if you can remember, do you remember what Ms. McCulley's behavior was like while she was in the holding cell?
That I don't remember.
Did you stand there and watch her, or did you have to walk away and do paperwork?
Typically, that's what we do, and then we have a screen, so look here and there just to monitor her, but I probably was doing paperwork at the time.
So you just monitor to make sure nothing's going on?
Yeah, briefly checking in and out.
And you didn't see anything out of the ordinary?
Not that I recall, no.
Okay. That's a pretty complicated system. You're very tech savvy, by the way. But thank you. I have nothing further.